Welcome to the Crack Podcast, everyone. Today, we're tackling something. Well, it's kind of a big myth in personal growth, isn't it?
The idea that you need some huge, earth-shattering change to, actually change your life.
Exactly. We're diving into a concept that honestly sounds almost too simple.
Conceptually simple, yeah.
But according to our sources, this really systematic, powerful audiobook transcript we've been looking at, it holds a proven blueprint. For real. Sustainable transformation.
That's right.
We hear it all the time, don't we? Change your life. You got to work 12-hour days, sacrifice everything, basically become a different person overnight.
Yeah, the hustle culture narrative.
Right. But the core idea here, the thesis of this material, is that the secret, the thing the most successful people use, it's something focused, manageable.
Something many people just dismiss. They think, that's too easy. Can't possibly work.
And what is it? It's one specific, intentional hour, just 60 minutes per day. That's it.
And what's really cool, I think, is that we're not just talking about cliches here, those vague self-help sayings.
Right. No surface-level time hacks.
No. Our mission today is to really unpack the system behind it. We need to get into the details of how you design that hour.
Okay.
How you protect it. And, crucially, how you maximize it so the results actually, compound exponentially over time.
So we're giving people a roadmap.
A structured roadmap, yeah. To get results that are so dramatic, honestly, other people might look at you and think you found some kind of secret weapon, some unfair advantage.
I love that framing. A secret advantage hiding in plain sight.
Pretty much.
Okay, let's dive right into that core concept then, because it is counterintuitive. The starting point is this idea. The gap between, say, extraordinary success.
Getting that promotion, mastering a really valuable skill, feeling financially secure.
Right. That gap between that and just mediocrity, It isn't measured in years of grinding or big lucky bucks.
No. It's measured in how you use 1 hour. Just one single hour per day. Consistently. Over the long haul.
That focused daily hour, that's the difference maker.
That's the core thesis. Okay, so to really get why this 1 hour is so powerful, we have to shift our thinking a bit.
How so?
We tend to think linearly. You put in an hour of effort, you expect, an hour's worth of results back. Right?
Yeah, seems logical.
But if you structure this hour correctly, like the system outlines, the returns aren't linear at all. They're quantitative, they're tangible, and they compound aggressively.
Okay, compound, like interest.
Exactly like compound interest, but for your skills or goals. Let's break down the numbers, make it feel real for you listening.
Let's do it.
1 focused hour a day. 7 days a week, that's simple enough. 7 hours of dedicated effort every single week.
Okay, 7 hours.
Keep that up for a month. You're looking at roughly 30 hours.
Still sounds manageable.
Right. But now, stick with it for a whole year. That's 365 hours. Dedicated solely to that one specific goal. Personal growth, learning a skill, building a side project, whatever you choose.
365 hours. Wow. Okay, when you put it like this.
It starts to feel substantial, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But what does that mean in, real world terms?
Think about a standard work week. Maybe 40 hours. That 365 hours is more than 9 full-time work weeks.
9 weeks. Seriously.
9 weeks. Imagine telling your boss, hey, I need 9 weeks off, paid.
Yeah.
Just to work on myself, on this one specific thing.
They'd laugh you out of the room. But you're saying we can give that time to ourselves.
Effectively, yes. You're investing that focused, non-disrupted time into your highest value goal. Think about starting your year knowing you've already banked 9 weeks, purely dedicated to getting better at the one thing that matters most.
That perspective shift is huge. The sheer volume of focused time.
And this is where we hit that crucial point again. The transformation isn't just additive. It's not linear. It's exponential.
Okay, explain that more. How is it exponential?
Because that 9 weeks of effort, it doesn't just produce 9 weeks worth of output. It builds internal momentum. Each hour builds directly on the last one.
So you get better at doing the hour too?
Exactly. Your 100th hour of focused work is dramatically more efficient, more powerful than your first hour was. You're building on a stronger foundation each time.
Let's use that example from the source material. Learning a high-value skill, maybe something technical like data analysis or coding.
Perfect example. Month 1. You're probably clumsy.
Right.
Learning the basics, the syntax, setting things up. Progress feels slow.
Yeah.
Maybe even frustratingly invisible.
Yeah, I can picture that. Lots of small mistakes.
Definitely. But stick with it. By month 3, things start clicking. You've got the fundamentals down. You're making fewer of those basic errors.
Okay, starting to feel some competence.
But the real magic, that compounding effect, starts kicking in around month 6. Now you've banked about 180 hours.
Halfway through the year.
Right. And you've moved beyond just following instructions. You're starting to genuinely understand. And this is when other people, maybe colleagues, maybe clients, start to notice.
The external validation starts.
Subtly at first, maybe. But they see you handling more complex stuff. And by year 1, that full 365-hour investment, you're operating at a level most people in your field just never reach. Because they never put in that consistent, focused time.
Wow.
And year 2, forget just learning. Now you're potentially innovating, solving new problems. You command attention because you have proven deep competence. That's the compound momentum.
Okay, that paints a really clear picture. But what about the alternative? What most people do?
Well, let's contrast that. Think about how most people spend their free time. It's often pretty random. Right?
Yeah, scroll social media, watch some TV.
Exactly. Maybe 2 hours of TV here, an hour scrolling there, browsing a random stuff online, no clear purpose.
No.
Over a year, they might easily spend hundreds of hours too, often way more than 365. But because that time was fragmented, passive, consumed rather than created, they really have nothing meaningful to show for it at the end of the year.
Ouch.
It's harsh, but true. They're basically the same person they were 12 months earlier, just, well, a year older.
Whereas the person who committed to the daily hour,
they're living in a different reality. While others consumed, they created. While others were entertained, they built expertise. And crucially, it's not just about the skill.
What else is happening?
Every single day you choose that proactive hour over passive consumption. You're doing something else. You're strengthening your discipline, training your brain for delayed gratification. You're proving to yourself, I'm the kind of person who follows through.
So it's an identity shift too.
A massive one. Subtle day-to-day, but huge over time. And that identity shift, that's what makes the long-term exponential success almost inevitable.
That difference between passive consumption and active creation, that really hits home. But here's the tricky part, and the source material is really honest about this.
The reality check.
The math makes sense, the concept sounds simple, but the elephant in the room is that most people who hear about this, they either never actually start or they quit, like really quickly, within the first week or month.
Yeah, the failure rate is high.
And it's not because the concept is flawed, right? It's because people fall into these predictable traps, psychological pitfalls that just sabotage them before they build any real momentum.
Absolutely right. And we need to name these traps, understand them, so you listening can avoid them. The first big one, it's the all-or-nothing mentality.
Yeah. Go big or go home.
Exactly. People hear transform your life and think, okay, 1 hour, not enough. I need 2 hours, 3 hours. Or they try to change everything at once.
Like starting tomorrow, wake up at 5 a.m., meditate 30 minutes, green smoothie, then 3 hours of deep work.
Precisely. And what happens? It's totally unsustainable. Life gets in the way, inevitably. They miss 1 day of their perfect 3-hour routine.
And they feel like a total failure.
Right. So they just quit. The key insight here, and high achievers really get this, is that consistency beats intensity. Every single time.
Say that again. Consistency beats intensity.
Every time. It's far, far better to do, say, a realistic 30 minutes consistently for a whole year than it is to do 3 hours intensely for a month and then burn out completely.
So the daily hour works because it's manageable.
Exactly. It's sustainable even when life gets chaotic. You're playing the long game here.
And life always gets chaotic.
Yeah.
Which leads nicely into the next one, right? Trap 2, the perfect conditions fallacy.
Oh, yeah. This is a classic procrastination tactic disguised as planning.
I can't start until...
I have a dedicated home office. My schedule clears up. The kids are older. I get that new noise-canceling headset.
We've all heard them, maybe even said them.
We probably have.
Yeah.
But look, if you wait for perfect conditions to start anything important...
You'll be waiting forever.
Forever. Successful people, they just start with whatever they've got. A corner of the kitchen table, their lunch break, using headphones on the train.
They start with possible, not perfect.
Exactly. Start with possible and then optimize as you go. Waiting for the perfect moment is just, well, it's fear.
Okay, trap 3. This one feels huge in today's world. The motivation dependency mistake.
Ooh, this is maybe the most dangerous one, especially because our culture kind of romanticizes feeling motivated or being inspired.
Yeah, you have to feel it to do it.
Right. So people rely on that feeling. But what happens when you have a bad night's sleep? or you're stressed about work, or you just don't feel like doing your hour today.
You skip it.
You skip it. And one skip easily becomes 2, then 3.
Yeah.
And suddenly the habit's dead before it ever really lived.
So relying on motivation is flawed.
Completely flawed. Motivation is fickle. It's unreliable, like you said earlier, like the weather.
Yeah.
What really creates lasting change isn't motivation. It's discipline.
Discipline. Not as sexy, maybe, but more effective.
Way more effective. The successful people, they understand this. They create systems. They schedule their hour like it's a crucial meeting, non-negotiable. They prepare in advance. They show up and do the work regardless of how they feel. They rely on their system and their commitment, not their mood.
That commitment aspect ties into trap 4, the immediate results expectation, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
We live in an instant gratification world. Social media, fast food, streaming, everything trains us to expect results now.
So people start their hour, maybe they're consistent for a week or two.
And they expect to see dramatic, visible changes immediately when they don't see that overnight transformation.
Yeah, I think, this isn't working, and they quit.
Exactly. But why is this a trap? Because real, deep transformation, it's often invisible at first.
Like that plant analogy you mentioned, growing roots underground.
Precisely. The source material outlines this pattern. The first month or so, progress often feels slow, maybe even imperceptible. It's sometimes called the valley of disappointment.
The valley of disappointment.
Okay? But you have to trust the process. Push through that initial phase, because the most important changes, the neurological rewiring, the foundation building, are happening beneath the surface.
And then?
Then, around month 3 maybe, the roots are deep enough. Others start noticing subtle changes. By month 12, if you've been consistent, you're transformed. Persistence through that quiet early period is maybe the single biggest predictor of success.
Trust the process, even when you can't see the results yet. Okay, final trap.
Trap 5, the no clear focus problem. This is subtle, but deadly.
How does this one look?
These are the people who do set aside an hour, but it's for something vague, like self-improvement or working on my business.
Okay, so what's wrong with that?
The hour itself gets fragmented. They spend maybe 15 minutes reading an article, then 20 minutes watching a related video, then 10 minutes vaguely planning something, then maybe 15 minutes on a completely different task.
So they're busy during the hour.
Very busy. They probably feel productive, but they're not making meaningful, measurable progress in any single direction.
Because the effort is scattered.
Exactly. Vague intentions lead to vague results. That hour needs to be laser-focused on a specific, measurable, clearly defined outcome. If you don't know exactly what success looks like for that 60 minutes before you start.
Like write 1,500 words or master this specific concept.
Right. If you don't have that clarity, you're likely just engaging in low-impact busy work, not transformation.
Wow. Okay, just knowing these 5 traps, the all or nothing, perfect conditions, motivation dependency, immediate results, and no clear focus, that's incredibly helpful.
It's half the battle. Recognizing them when they pop up in your own head is the first step to overcoming them.
Absolutely. Okay, before we move on to actually structuring that perfect hour, because just avoiding traps isn't enough.
Right, we need the positive blueprint too.
Exactly. If you listening are finding this systematic approach valuable, getting these blueprints broken down into actionable steps, well, this is probably a good moment to remind you to hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, definitely subscribe to the channel. We're always doing these deep dives, pulling out the practical steps from the best sources.
We want to keep bringing you these detailed roadmaps for success and clarity. So yeah, take a second, subscribe, and don't miss out.
All right, so we've identified the pitfalls, the reasons why people fail. Now let's build a positive case. How do you structure that hour for success?
This is crucial, right? Because you said earlier, not all 60 minutes are created equal.
Not at all. An hour spent randomly scrolling is obviously different from an hour spent intentionally. But even an intentional hour needs structure to be truly transformative. Okay. The source material breaks down the perfect transformational hour into 4 distinct phases. You got to master all 4. Preparation, activation, execution, and integration.
4 phases. Okay, let's start with phase 1, preparation. How long is this?
Just 5 to 10 minutes, typically. But it's so often skipped, and that's a huge mistake. Skipping prep makes starting much harder, increases what psychologists call the cognitive switching cost.
Okay, so what happens in preparation?
3 key things. First, and maybe most obviously, eliminate distractions.
Phone off, notifications silenced.
Phone ideally in another room, or at least on airplane mode. All notifications off. Close unnecessary tabs on your computer. You're consciously creating a bubble of focus. protecting it from the outside world's chaos.
Bubble of focus. I like that. What's second?
Second is clarifying your intention. Before you even start the main work, you decide exactly what a successful hour looks like today.
So back to that specific goal thing.
Absolutely. Not work on my novel, but maybe write 1,500 words of dialogue for Chapter 3, or solve these 5 specific calculus problems, or outline the argument for the marketing proposal. Specific, measurable.
Got it. Primes the brain. And third?
Third is getting into an optimal state. This might be just 2 minutes of deep breathing to calm your nervous system, maybe some light stretching, or even just reviewing your major life goals quickly to remember why you're doing this.
So it's a transition from reactive mode to proactive focused mode.
Exactly. Sets the stage mentally and physically. Okay, that's prep. Then comes phase 2, activation.
Activation. How long is this?
This takes the next 10 to 15 minutes. Think of it as the warm-up lap.
Okay, why do we need a warm-up? Can't we just dive in?
Well, your brain rarely jumps straight from 0 to deep focus instantly. It needs a little time to, ramp up, to build momentum. And also, crucially, to overcome that initial mental resistance we talked about earlier.
That voice that says, maybe check email first, or just scroll for 5 minutes.
That exact voice.
Yeah.
So in activation, you ease into the work. You start with tasks that are important for your goal, but maybe not the absolute hardest or most mentally taxing part yet.
Like what?
Could be reviewing your notes from yesterday's session in detail, organizing your materials meticulously, rereading a specific theory or section of a book that's relevant to today's main task.
So it's productive work, just maybe lower intensity.
Right. It allows you to acknowledge that internal resistance, I don't want to start this hard thing, but move past it by starting with something slightly easier. You build confidence, get the neurological gears turning before you tackle the main event.
Which is phase 3.
Which is phase 3, execution. This is the heart of the hour, the core engine of transformation. It lasts about 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay, the biggest chunk of time.
Yes. This is where you do the focused, deep work on your single most important objective for the day. No multitasking, 0 distractions, just pure, concentrated effort.
And the goal here is flow state.
That's the ultimate goal, yes.
Yeah.
That state of peak performance where you're fully immersed, time seems to disappear, and the work feels almost effortless, even if it's challenging.
How do you get into flow? Is there a trick?
The source identifies 3 non-negotiable conditions. First, the task needs to be challenging, but not too challenging. It should stretch you, keep you engaged, right at the edge of your current abilities.
Not so easy. It's boring. Not so hard. It's overwhelming.
Exactly. Second, you need clear goals for the session, and ideally, immediate feedback. Did the code run? Did you solve the problem correctly? Did the paragraph flow?
Okay, clear goals, immediate feedback.
And third, as we said, 0 distractions. That bubble of focus from phase 1 has to hold strong here. Now, during execution, you're also practicing something important.
What's that?
Progressive overload for the mind. Just like muscles need increasing weight to grow stronger.
Your brain needs increasing challenge.
Precisely. Your focus endurance, your ability to handle complexity, it grows when you push it slightly each day. So if you managed 1,500 words today, maybe next week you aim for 1,600 or 1,700. If you solved 5 problems, aim for 6 or slightly harder ones. That constant, gentle increase in challenge drives the exponential results over time.
Progressive overload for the mind. I like that. Okay, so prep, activation, execution. What's the last phase?
Phase 4, integration. This is the final 5 to 10 minutes. And honestly, it's the phase most people skip, which is a huge missed opportunity.
Why is integration so important? It feels like the work is done after execution.
But skipping integration is like cooking a great meal and then forgetting to eat it or put the leftovers away. It's the consolidation phase. It's where you make the learning permanent and connect it to your progress.
Okay, so what do you do in integration?
3 key actions again. First, you review what you just accomplished. What went well? What was challenging? What did you learn specifically? This helps your brain process the information, consolidate the memories, physically strengthen those neural connections you just built.
So reflecting on the work itself.
Yes. Second, you briefly plan the next session's preparation phase. What specific task will you tackle tomorrow? What materials will you need? This ensures you start tomorrow with that crucial clarity instead of wasting the first 10 minutes figuring out what to do.
Sets you up for success tomorrow. Smart.
Very smart. And third, and this is vital psychologically, you acknowledge your commitment. Take 30 seconds to just recognize, hey, I showed up, I did the focused work, even if it was a tough hour. Consciously connect the effort with a feeling of accomplishment or progress.
Reinforces the habit loop.
Exactly. It strengthens the positive neural pathways,
Yeah.
making it easier and more rewarding to show up again tomorrow. Don't skip integration.
Okay, that four-phase structure prep, activate, execute, integrate makes so much sense. It turns the hour into a repeatable, effective process.
It really does. It's the engine.
But you mentioned earlier, an engine needs a direction, a target. We need to talk about what you actually focus on during that hour.
Yes, absolutely critical, because the source material is really clear on this. The power comes from sustained focus on one thing.
One thing, not trying to improve 5 areas at once.
That dilutes the power. Think about it. If you split your 60 minutes between, say, learning Spanish, planning your fitness, reading industry news, working on a side hustle, and meditating.
That's only 12 minutes each.
Exactly. And 12 minutes a day, even if you're consistent, probably won't create breakthrough change in any one of those areas. Why? Because you spend most of that 12 minutes just getting started in phase 1 and 2, preparation and activation.
You never get enough time in deep execution.
Precisely. You skim the surface of 5 things instead of going deep on one. The key to those exponential results we talked about, it's focusing that entire structured hour on one high-leverage area for an extended period.
How long are we talking?
Often 6 months, 12 months, maybe even longer, depending on the goal.
Yeah.
But that sustained, deep focus is what builds the 6-figure skill, creates the deep expertise, achieves the major health turnaround.
Okay, focus on one thing.
Yeah.
But how do you choose? There are so many things I could work on.
That's the challenge. The sources give us 4 filters to help select the area with the highest potential leverage for you.
4 filters. Okay, what's the first one?
Filter 1 is impact. You need to identify the area where improvement would positively affect every other area of your life.
The biggest domino to fall.
Kinda, yeah. The source highlights 4 common high-leverage categories: health and energy, financial skills and literacy, relationships, personal and professional, and mindset, focus, resilience, etc.
Give me an example.
Okay, think about health and energy. If you focus your hour for 6 months on improving your sleep, nutrition, and fitness, what happens?
You have more energy, you think clearer, you're probably more patient.
Exactly. Lack of energy holds back performance everywhere. So improving that foundational lever often creates massive ripple effects in your work, your relationships, your mood. That's high impact.
Makes sense. Filter 2.
Filter 2 is passion and natural ability. Ideally, you should choose something that genuinely interests or energizes you, something where you feel you have at least some natural inclination or potential.
Why is passion important if discipline is key?
Because while discipline gets you started, passion helps sustain you through the inevitable difficult patches. If you actively dread the topic of your hour every single day, consistency becomes much, much harder. You need some internal pull, not just push.
Okay, impact, passionability, filter 3.
Filter 3 is opportunity and timing. Is this skill or area particularly relevant or needed right now? Maybe your industry is changing rapidly and you need new tech skills urgently.
So external factors matter too.
They do. Or maybe you're entering a new life stage, becoming a parent, starting a business that demands improvement in a specific area like time management or financial planning now. Urgency can be a powerful motivator.
Right. And the last filter, filter 4.
Filter 4 is measurability. Your chosen focus area must allow for specific, measurable goals.
Back to avoiding vague intentions.
Exactly. Become more confident isn't a measurable focus for your hour, but complete a public speaking course, write 10 speeches on specific topics, and deliver 5 of them to live audiences of at least 10 people.
That's measurable. You know exactly what success looks like.
Right. You need to be able to define clear objectives for the overall goal, and then break those down into specific tasks you can tackle within your daily 60 minutes. You need to know objectively if you succeeded today.
Impact, passion, timing, measurability. Okay, that's a solid framework for choosing the what. Now, how do we make sure we actually do it? The system part.
Yes, the unbreakable system. Because, as we established, willpower alone is not enough. It's unreliable.
So successful people don't just have more willpower.
Not necessarily. They design systems where doing the hour is the path of least resistance, where success becomes almost the default outcome. This involves designing your environment and your schedule, what the source calls architectural design.
Okay, first, environmental design. What does that involve?
Structuring your physical space to make starting easy and quitting hard.
Like the bubble of focus's idea.
That's part of it. But also having a dedicated space, if possible. Even if it's just a specific chair and specific corner that your brain learns to associate only with this focused work. No checking email there, no scrolling social media, just the hour.
Condition your brain.
Exactly. And eliminate friction. Prepare everything the night before. If you're writing, the document is open, maybe an outline ready. If you're studying, the book is open to the right page, notes nearby, water bottle filled. Remove every tiny barrier to starting.
Make it effortless to begin.
As effortless as possible. And, crucially, eliminate temptations. Phone, out of sight, out of reach. Close distracting websites. Make the right thing the easy thing to do in that space.
Okay, environmental design. What's next?
Temporal architecture. Designing your time. This means making the hour a fixed, non-negotiable appointment in your schedule.
Like that meeting with your most important client, your future self.
Exactly that. Treat it with that level of seriousness. The source suggests early morning is often best, highest willpower, fewest interruptions. But the most important thing is consistency. Whatever time works reliably for you. Morning, lunch, evening, pick a time and stick to it religiously.
Lock it in the calendar.
Lock it in. And use activation rituals. Small, consistent actions you do right before the hour starts to signal to your brain, okay, it's focus time now.
Like what?
Could be making a specific type of coffee or tea, listening to the same instrumental song, doing 10 push-ups, reading your one-sentence goal statement aloud. A simple, repeatable ritual that acts as a trigger. It helps you transition into phase 1 and 2 almost automatically.
Environmental design, temporal architecture. Is there a third piece?
Yes, the safety net. Accountability architecture. Because, let's be honest, relying purely on yourself is risky, especially at the beginning.
So build in external pressure.
Basically, yes. Use structures outside of yourself to keep you on track. This could be a simple public commitment. Telling friends or colleagues what you're doing raises the stakes.
Makes you not want to look bad if you quit.
Exactly. Or, more powerfully, get an accountability partner, someone you check in with daily or weekly, who knows your goal and expects you to report on your progress.
That social pressure helps.
Immensely. And the source even suggests using things like financial penalties. This sounds extreme, but it works for some people.
How does that work?
You set up a system, maybe using an app or a commitment contract with a friend, where if you miss your hour without a very good reason, you automatically have to donate a meaningful amount of money to a cause you actively disagree with, or an organization you dislike.
Ooh, that adds some real sting.
It does. The psychological pain of supporting something you oppose is often a much stronger motivator than the temporary pleasure of procrastinating. It's about making skipping more painful than doing the work.
Wow. Environmental design, temporal architecture, accountability architecture. That really does sound like an unbreakable system.
So you've chosen your focus, you've built your system, you're executing the 4 phases. Now what? Now you enter the deep game.
The deep game, what does that mean?
It means that even with the best system, you will encounter resistance, internal and external. Consistently showing up means learning to navigate this resistance. And actually, resistance is often a sign you're doing something important.
Like friction means you're moving.
Exactly. If it feels easy all the time, you might not be pushing hard enough. So we need strategies to overcome the common forms of resistance that will crop up.
Okay, what's a big one?
Urgency hijacking. We touched on this. Your hour is scheduled, you're ready to start. And suddenly an urgent email pops up. Or a colleague has a quick question. Or a minor crisis erupts at home.
Happens all the time.
All the time. And the temptation is to say, okay, I'll just handle this urgent thing quickly, then I'll do my hour.
But the urgent things never stop coming.
Never. They multiply.
Yeah.
And your important, non-urgent hour gets pushed aside again and again. The solution. You have to learn to ruthlessly protect that hour. Distinguish between truly urgent, life or death, major immediate crisis, and merely loud or demanding.
Treat it like that CEO meeting.
Precisely. Unless the building is on fire, the urgent can likely wait 60 minutes. Your deep work, the stuff that moves the needle long term, must take precedence over the tyranny of the urgent.
That takes discipline. Okay, what other resistance shows up?
Perfectionism paralysis is a sneakier. It's not laziness, it's the fear of starting.
Right.
Because you might not do it perfectly.
I don't have the perfect outline yet. I'm not quite sure the best way to approach this.
Right. It sounds like diligence, but it's often just fear of failure, fear of looking stupid, fear of not meeting your own impossibly high standards. So you delay starting.
Waiting for that mythical perfect moment or plan.
Exactly. The antidote here, you have to embrace good enough to start.
Yep.
Seriously, internalize this. A mediocre hour that actually happens is infinitely more valuable than a perfect hour that stays stuck in your head.
Just start. Get messy. Iterate later.
Yes. Showing up and starting, even imperfectly, is like 80% of the battle against perfectionism.
Okay, and what about that motivation dependency again? Even with the system, some days you just really don't feel like it.
Absolutely. The system helps, the rituals help, but bad days happen. The advanced technique here is activation momentum.
Activation momentum.
Don't try to magically summon a huge wave of motivation. Forget about feeling like it. Instead, make a micro commitment. Just commit to starting for 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes, that's it.
That's the deal you make with yourself. I don't have to do the whole hour. I just have to start for 5 minutes. Put your running shoes on, open the document, write one sentence, do one math problem, pick up the guitar.
Lower the barrier to entry dramatically.
Dramatically. Because what usually happens, once you overcome that initial inertia, once you're actually doing the thing, momentum builds. The act of starting often generates the motivation needed to continue for the full hour.
Action creates motivation, not the other way around.
That's the key insight. Use activation momentum on those tough days.
Okay, so we navigate resistance. What about making the hour even more impactful once the habit is solid? The source mentioned advanced strategies.
Yes, once the 60-minute habit is ingrained, you can layer on techniques from learning science to accelerate your results. Chapter 7, I believe it was, focuses on this.
What's the foundation?
Deliberate practice. This is crucial. It's not just mindless repetition. It's highly focused, purposeful effort directed specifically at your current weaknesses.
So targeting what you're bad at, that sounds uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable. That's the point. You have to work at the edge of your current ability where you're likely to make mistakes. Most people prefer practicing what they already do well because it feels good. Deliberate practice requires seeking out the hard parts.
How do you do it effectively?
It requires clear goals for improvement, intense focus during the practice, immediate feedback on what went wrong, and then repetition with refinement. You're actively diagnosing and fixing flaws, not just going through the motions.
Okay, deliberate practice. What else?
2 powerful learning techniques: interleaving and spaced repetition.
Interleaving. What's that?
It means mixing up related skills or concepts within your practice session rather than blocking them. So if you're learning a language,
Instead of doing 40 minutes of just grammar.
right, you might do 15 minutes of grammar, then 15 of new vocabulary, then 15 of conversation practice or reading comprehension, then maybe cycle back to grammar briefly.
Why is mixing it up better?
It forces your brain to work harder to retrieve the information and discriminate between different types of problems. It feels harder in the short term, but it leads to much deeper, more flexible long-term learning compared to just drilling one thing repeatedly.
Interesting. And spaced repetition.
This is about timing your review of previously learned material. Instead of cramming, you revisit information at increasing intervals.
Like review it tomorrow, then in 3 days, then in a week, then a month.
Exactly. That spacing effect combats the forgetting curve and forces your brain to retrieve the memory, which strengthens it dramatically. It's how you ensure foundational knowledge becomes permanent, truly locked in.
Deliberate practice, interleaving, spaced repetition, powerful stuff. Any other advanced tactics?
One more counterintuitive one: constraint optimization.
Using constraints to improve. How does that work?
You artificially limit your time or resources for a task. For example, challenge yourself to write that report or solve that set of problems in 45 minutes instead of your usual 60.
Force yourself to be faster.
Faster, yes, but also more focused and creative. Or try writing an essay without looking things up online immediately. Constraints force you to eliminate fluff, prioritize ruthlessly, and come up with more efficient solutions. They combat mental laziness.
Use pressure cooker tactics on yourself.
In a controlled way, yes. It can unlock surprising levels of efficiency and innovation.
Okay, these are great tools. But you mentioned the deepest change isn't just skills, it's identity.
Yes. Ultimately, the most profound transformation from this consistent daily hour isn't what you can do, but who you become in the process.
How does identity change?
Several ways. First, you fundamentally shift from a fixed mindset, my abilities are set in stone, to a growth orientation. You start seeing challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to learn and expand your competence. That becomes your default way of viewing the world.
These are proving you can grow every day.
Exactly. You build lived evidence. Second, you develop deep process confidence. This isn't arrogance. It's an unshakable, quiet faith that consistent, focused effort inevitably produces results over time.
So you trust the system, trust the daily work.
Yes, which allows you to pursue long-term goals with patience and without constant anxiety about immediate outcomes. You know the results will come if you stick to the process. You master delayed gratification.
That's powerful.
And maybe most importantly, You build anti-fragility.
Anti-fragility, not just resilience.
It's stronger than resilience. Resilience means bouncing back to where you were after a setback. Anti-fragility, a concept popularized by Nassim Taleb, means you actually get stronger, more capable, because of stressors and challenges.
How does the hour build that?
Because every day you face resistance, overcome it, push your limits slightly with deliberate practice, handle unexpected difficulties. Your system, your mind, your skills, your discipline adapts and becomes more robust. You don't just survive chaos. You learn to thrive on it and grow from it. That identity shift. Growth-oriented, process-confident, anti-fragile is the ultimate transformation. It ensures you keep growing no matter what life throws your way. #HasOutro.
Wow. Okay, let's try and wrap up this deep dive. It's been a lot, but incredibly valuable.
It's a comprehensive system, for sure.
We've basically laid out the entire roadmap, starting with the simple, powerful math, how 1 hour a day becomes 9 weeks a year.
The power of compounding.
Then we hit those 5 crucial psychological traps. The all or nothing, perfect conditions, motivation dependency, immediate results, and lack of focus that derail most people.
Knowing them is key to avoiding them.
Absolutely. Then the core structure, the 4 phases of the perfect hour: preparation, activation, execution, and integration.
The engine itself. Got to have all 4 parts working.
Followed by the critical need for a single high-leverage focus using those 4 filters: impact, passion, timing, measurability.
Can't scatter your energy. Go deep on one thing.
And finally, building that unbreakable system using environmental design, temporal architecture, and accountability architecture.
Making success the default, not relying on willpower.
Plus those advanced strategies like deliberate practice and the ultimate goal of identity shift. It's a complete blueprint.
It really is. But remember, knowledge isn't the same as change.
Right.
Knowing the blueprint doesn't build the house.
Right. The gap is always bridged by action.
So let's revisit that contrast from the source material one last time. Think about 2 possible futures, 1 year from today. Future A, you keep waiting for the right time. You keep consuming content, maybe even podcasts like this, learning about change. You spend hundreds of hours passively. And 1 year later, you're pretty much the same person, just a year older.
Ouch. Okay, future B.
Future B. You start today or tomorrow morning. You commit to that one focused, structured hour. You fight through the resistance using the strategies we discussed. You apply deliberate practice. And 1 year from now, that consistent daily action has compounded, has resulted in massive tangible change. You haven't just learned a skill, you've fundamentally changed who you are and what you're capable of.
That's the choice, isn't it?
That's the choice. Knowledge is potential power. Action is real power. Your new life, that transformed future, it doesn't start someday.
It starts with the next hour, the next decision you make about how to invest 60 minutes.
Exactly. Are you ready to stop just learning about transformation and actually start living it?
Start your hour. Start your transformation now.
And maybe one final thought to leave you with, something that builds on that transformation idea. Your daily hour. It doesn't just improve your life. As you build real, observable competence through this consistent effort, something else happens. You naturally start to demonstrate leadership, not by telling people what to do, but by showing them what's possible.
Leading by example.
Exactly. Your sustained growth expands the sense of possibility for everyone around you who sees it happening. It shows them that maybe exponential change isn't just for other people. Your hour can ripple outwards.
That's a powerful legacy. Your hour doesn't just change you, it can inspire others.
It truly can.
Well, that is it for this deep dive. What a journey through the power of 60 minutes.
Hope it was useful.
Incredibly. And if you found this detailed breakdown helpful, if you want more roadmaps like this for exponential growth and staying well informed,
Please do us a favor.
hit that like button right now. It really helps the channel. And most importantly, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive.
Thanks for tuning in.
We appreciate you listening. We'll catch you next time on the deep dive.